Stay tuned for the next guest.
Dear viewers, welcome back from this report, and we have been joined by our first guest for this evening, Hamza Taqi, the Master Performance Consultant. Welcome back to Hala Kuwait, Mr. Hamza.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Every episode when you're with us, we talk about different ways we can maybe better ourselves and personality. And I think we've discussed so many aspects
We did.
of like characteristics,
Yes.
personality, and so many
Yes.
things. But I don't think we've ever spoken about influencing skills. So what exactly is influencing skills?
Influencing skill is some people relate it to being a leader. You know, when you are a leader, you need to influence people.
Yes.
And influencing, basically everybody needs to influence. We need to influence our kids. We need to influence our team members, partners, and
Right.
spouse, and even our bosses sometimes. So
Yes.
we all leaders are in different domain. We
That's
are
right.
our own leaders, and we need to be able to influence. To influence people is basically to make them move toward you, toward your thoughts, toward your
Right.
ideas, toward your vision. And they do things for you, not because they have to, because
Yes.
they want to, because they believe in what you believe in, because they
Yes.
know your they want to because they like your why you do what you do, not exactly what you're doing, but why you do it.
I think that's the best type of influencing, when you're not sitting there forcing someone to do something for you, regardless if it's a boss-employee situation or even a relationship with your children or spouse. You know, when
Absolutely.
something is being done for you out of, well, this
Love.
person exactly does all these great things
Yeah.
for me and I genuinely want to do this thing.
Right.
So I think first impressions are also really important, especially when it comes to our jobs sometimes and
Yes.
meetings. So what is a first impression, and how can we create a good first impression, most importantly?
First impression is the first look at any person, and usually it is the look that it sink in the mind of the
Yes.
people. And it depends how you show up, you know. Are you optimistic? Are you happy? Are you smiling?
Yes.
Are you standing straight? Your posture affects your first impression. And,
Yes.
and more than that, it is from the inside. If you feel comfortable from the inside, it will project
Right.
on your well-being, on your body, on your how you are, seen by others.
Do you think we get a second chance at first impressions, or
We
do
do.
you truly believe it's a first impression?
No, we do get a second chance, and sometimes we tend to judge others, and we see
Yes.
them in a different way, and we say, oh, who is he or who is she? And then once we get to know them, we find out, no, they were much genuine, and they are really
Right.
good people to be around with.
That's true. Sometimes our judgment isn't in the right place for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So
We
I
shouldn't
think-
judge anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We should get rid of that habit to start with. So
Right.
I always hear about charisma. Sometimes we have a new person working with us, or maybe a new friend, and we're
Right.
like, why does everyone like this person?
Right.
You know, and they're
Right.
like, they have so much charisma.
Yes.
So what does charisma mean, and why is it so important to someone's personality?
It is important because it helps the first skill, influencing. So when you have charisma, usually you are a good influencer, and charisma basically, again, it's your light inside. It's what you feel inside. You're content. You're happy.
Right.
You're humble. You're selfless. So it will project in the outer world, and you become attractive. People are attracted to you because of how you stand, your body language, the way you speak, your tonality, how you use the words. All these blended, your warmth sometimes,
Yes.
your warmth, your connectedness, and your they matter rather than you matter. You don't come first. Our audience come first, or for example, your people come first, or your team members come first.
Right.
And that will create a good attraction for that person, which is charisma.
I think that's a really great way to put it. And just you mentioning all these things, yes, I don't think I've called someone charismatic if they're not humble and selfless.
Right.
Just thinking about it right now. So how do I know if I have charisma? If I'm lucky to have that?
You do.
Oh, thank you.
You do. And once you walk in with your energy and your smile, and you project, charisma. It is basically confident from within.
Right.
When you are confident and you have the competency, when you're competent, you are confident,
Right.
of what you're doing. So you appear to people, and people are attracted to people who are confident,
Right.
and they feel that it might rub on them. They become confident as well.
That's amazing.
And it's true, because there is a research by Freeman who studied charisma through Princeton University, and
Yes.
And he would put a person with high charisma or highly charismatic, a person with a low charismatic person
Right.
in one room without talking, without anything, for 2 minutes only. Within that 2 minutes, the high charismatic person will influence without talking. They will feel what they're feeling. So if the high charismatic person is feeling confident or feeling optimistic
Yes.
or feeling happy, the other person will be happy. If the opposite, feeling sad, the other person will feel so.
So interesting.
So without even talking, from only the energy that they project, they're influencing others.
Well, that's very strong energy that I
It
would
is.
love to actually have one day. So let's say I do not have charisma.
Yes.
How can I become charismatic? How can I get all these amazing features?
Well, first we have to go within. We have to know what are we all about.
Yes.
We have to understand ourselves, and we have to manage our emotions in a way so we show up in a more enthusiastic, more optimistic, more confident way. And being mainly genuine, when you are genuine, you are yourself. You don't, for example, change. You have a consistency in your behavior. Then you are seen as charismatic, because when you're changing, or some people, they say, I don't like to use that, but wearing a mask, from different situation, then people see you differently. Sometimes in social media, we see people
That's right.
before 3 years, they're talking about something, now they're talking about the opposite. And some people,
Exactly.
they work on that and they put them together before and after.
Some people watch very closely. It could be 10 years ago and they'll still be able to find it.
Exactly. So being consistent, being humble, you can have that charisma, and being selfish, being caring about the others rather than putting yourself first, putting
Yes.
others first, that will give you a good charisma.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
think that's a very important thing to consider, right? It's not always
Absolutely.
about us. And I think if the person or your team in general is comfortable, you are very comfortable and content. So
Yes.
let's talk about body language. Why is it important to understand body language? Honestly, I'm sometimes on social media and there's these clips explaining body language of like celebrities or royal or something.
Right.
Why is it important to understand it?
Of course, because we communicate 55% with our body and 38% with our tonality.
Right.
Okay, and then 7% is the words that we use. So
Wow.
when you hear 7%, you think the words don't matter. No, they matter. They are very important, but they are not as important as the tonality or the voice
Right.
and the body language. For example, if I can say, Rita, you are the best, interviewer I ever seen, or I can say, Rita, you are really the best,
Right.
unbelievable, So
Very big difference.
big difference, but the same wording. We use the same wording, but the tonality, the body language changes the meaning.
Of
So that's
course.
why it's important. And of course, you can catch people lying if they are, with their
Absolutely.
what they do. And so it's very important to communicate, to get your message across, is to use your body language. And that's
Definitely.
charismatic people, they use hand gestures a
They
lot
do
in their life.
focus on that a lot, definitely. So you've mentioned a few things this evening, like facial expressions and all these non-verbal cues, which are part of body language, and of course, the expression of emotions. Can you tell us more about that?
Emotions are very important, but we tend not to include them in our vocabulary. We don't talk. We either know sad and mad, or
Right.
or angry, or happy. But there are a lot of emotion. And sad itself, there are, you can have so many different emotions. So it's good to understand, at least in the emotion side, at least to understand what triggers you, what makes you upset, what makes you, not the way you are. So at least you identify them, you know them, and when they come up, you know how to address them, and you know how to manage them.
Yes.
And that's self-management, basically.
Definitely, and it's very important.
Yes.
So can we say that particular tones of voice are linked with particular types of body language?
Well, yes, in a way, because if I am saying something that is funny, I may as well say it fast.
Definitely.
Okay, but if I'm saying something that is really sad, I have to lower my voice, I have to speak slowly, because it's a sad situation.
Yes.
You see the difference,
Right.
So yeah, it has to do with the tonality. It has to match the body language and the wording as well. They have to match together. They make a good presentation.
It definitely
or a good
has
talk.
to be a cohesive situation.
Absolutely.
When it comes to all three.
Yes, yes.
They should be in connection.
And you use you use the logos. Logos is the logical argument. If you want to get the message, or you want to be charismatic or influential, and you need to have the pathos, where you use you appeal to their emotions, whoever is listening to you or following you. And then lastly is the ethos, which is your character. People
Yes.
trust you or not.
Of course.
If they don't trust you, you will not engage. You will not, communicate and get the point to the goal or the vision that you have as a leader, or
Of
as a mother,
course.
or as a father. Yeah.
And since you mentioned being engaged or engaging in something, can you talk to us about the importance of eye contact? A lot of people focus on how important eye contact is.
Eye contact is very important, because the eye, they say it's the door to the heart.
Right.
Or the soul,
Exactly.
For example, some people, they tend to look down out of respect, because this is some limiting beliefs they had since childhood, where, for example, their parents told them, don't look at me when I'm talking to you, so they
Very
look
true.
down. And that happens, and when they grow up, they use the same thing, but it's not going to work for them. If you want to connect with people, if you want to respect people, you have to look them in the eye.
Exactly.
And that shows that you are listening, you're actively listening, and they are important to you as well. Yes.
I think that's absolutely true, and we've heard it a lot. Like, yes, this person is so respectful, he didn't even look me in the eye. So we can say it's part of our culture in a way, or a sense. But as you said,
but professionally, it doesn't
exactly.
work.
Professionally,
Yeah.
you need to be able to show that person that you can see them. That is respect
Absolutely,
in a way. It's
yes,
really important.
yes.
So finally, do you have any final words or any advice you can give our viewers on the topics mentioned this evening?
Well, I would like to tell our audience that, be optimistic. Life is good. Life is fun. And change your thought. If you are feeling sad, change your thought. Change your thoughts. When you change your thought, you change your emotions. And when you change your emotion, your behavior will change, and your result will be better, hopefully.
Thank you, Mr. Hamza. I think that's the best advice we can end with this evening. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, as usual.
Thank you. So we had with us Hamza Taqi, the Master Performance Consultant. And up next, we have a report on cybersecurity. Stay tuned for that.